Good afternoon, or let's say good morning. I don't think so, but it's afternoon and evening for sure. Warm welcome to our estimated attendees and distinguished speakers joining us today from different corners of the globe. I'm absolutely thrilled and honored to welcome you to this webinar focused on women entrepreneurship. Gathering that embodies the spirit of empowerment, collaboration, and innovation. And to all our attendees, whether you're joining us from Slovenia, Europe, Canada, or any other part of the world, thank you for choosing to be part of this vibrant community of women entrepreneurs. Your presence has today underscores your commitment to personal and professional growth, and I have no doubt that together we will inspire, support, and uplift one another in our entrepreneurial journeys. The Slovenian Businesswomen Around the Globe series is actually a platform that brings together women entrepreneurs from the Slovenian diaspora, executives, leaders, female businesses, leaders, and scientists from across the globe, as well as from Slovenia itself. Through these gatherings, we aim to create a space where these remarkable individuals can share their experiences and challenges in navigating the dynamic landscape of business, both in Slovenia and on the global stage. To exchange business opportunities with the firm belief that this exchange will not only benefit individuals, but also contribute to the growth of prosperity of our global community. Moreover, this platform we have the opportunity to discover and celebrate the extraordinary talents of Slovenes across the world. Since its inception, this program has yielded immensely positive results. We've had the privilege of hearing from successful women, Slovenian women, who are leaving an indelible mark on the business world, both domestically and internationally. The initiative is made possible with the invaluable support of the Government's Office of the Republic of Slovenia for Slovenes Abroad, which is Urad Vlade Republike Slovenije za Slovence v zamejstvu in po svetu. For those who doesn't know me, I'm Mateja Perovšek, the organizer of this event, and I'm thrilled to be your host for today's discussion. Once again, I extended my warmest welcome to each and every one of you. Thank you for being a part of this enriching and empowering journey. Let's make today's session a resounding success. Please, all participants, feel free to, of course, raise your hands if you have any questions for our guests, or you can also share in chat box. First, I'd like to introduce the speaker. First speaker, allowing also to share more about themselves. Then we'll dive into discussion on the main topics. So I'm very privileged to welcome our first guest, Saša Mrak Hendrickson, a seasoned professional with over 15 years of demonstrated expertise in marketing, media, and business development, brings a wealth of experience to the table. A dedicated mother, Saša initially cultivated her career in Slovenia before relocating to Washington, D.C. 4 years ago. With a solid foundation in marketing, Saša holds a bachelor degree in the field and has further honed her skills through competition of an executive MBA program. Without further ado, let's hand the floor over to Saša. Saša,
Hi.
We're very eager to learn more about you. So please share with us your journey and experiences, and please, the floor is yours.
Thank you so much, and welcome everyone from all over the world. I think we have Canada, Brazil, Slovenia, and I am right now, I'm Washington, D.C., in the suburbs of Washington, D.C., and to kind of tell a little bit of this story, and then we'll go more deep into certain topics. I moved here 4.5 years ago, following my husband, who's American. We met years ago. So at some point I have had to decide where to continue my life. So as Mateja kind of shortly described, I can say I had a perfect career. back there in Slovenia. I was CEO of a very cool nonprofit organization for leadership and management. But I still decided to explore the world and to start from scratch here. However, I did not expect I would come to United States 10 days before lockdown. I was 2.5 months pregnant. So for a year and a half, my networking that is crucial in Washington, D.C. was almost impossible. I mean, people were not even used to this Zooming thing and so on. So everybody was just shut down in her own places. And they were finally happy they don't need to drive. They don't need to drive to work anymore, since they lost like 3 hours per day driving to DC and back. So I had to start from scratch. It wasn't easy, but I am happy I chose this path. I learned a lot, and I am very lucky to be where I am now, working as a director of business development, includes marketing at one of the mortgage brokers here that with the longest history that survived financial collapse, because a lot of them didn't. And I am now exploring a completely new world that's completely different from Slovenia when it comes to mortgages and loans, but I love it here. So that's shortly about me. Oh, maybe one more thing. I don't know if any of you saw, we also started in December, American Slovenian Club, with the support of the embassy in Washington, D.C. and General Consulate in Cleveland. It is still more or less in the process, but the plans are to finally become program active and with members in a month or so from now. But it is special here in the United States because it's a first of its kind that wants to connect the entire Slovenian diaspora in the United States, which is huge. So I guess I have another big challenge that would be worthwhile for all those who are interested in any kind of connecting in terms of business, entrepreneurship, knowledge, whatever. Alrighty, I think that's all.
That's not all for sure. We're gonna dive into discussion now. But thank you for the short introduction. We're gonna cover some topics today. Mainly, of course, we are holding the series of women entrepreneurs. So maybe we start woman in leadership, Sasha. The role of woman in leadership position within global organization. Can we talk about this more?
Well, I can talk about more comparing Slovenia and United States, and I think that could be very interesting. I will tell it a little bit from my personal perspective and a little bit about, overall frame here in United States. So in general, there's a lot of effort to promote and to help women getting into leadership positions, becoming entrepreneurs in many ways. A lot of co-financing, a lot of grants, a lot of events, a lot of networking, a lot of platforms. So in general, very supportive. However, there is the other side. I think personally, and also talking to my US colleagues, United States are still a little bit on conservative side when it comes to families. Women are there to raise kids and men are here to bring, money in, which is fine, but it doesn't make life easier for women. And because we have no public childcare, at least for first 6 years, and childcare costs a lot. So for us, it's $2,000 per month. For example, just to kind of give you an idea, a lot of family chooses, that one of the parents stay home, and usually that's a woman. So also women have no maternity leave. I mean, they have 3 months maybe of paid leave that they work for, plus some little bit of paid vacation that they didn't use before, and they use that as a maternity leave. But after 3 months, they also need to go back. So it's in that way, it's not really easy for women, because a lot of them kind of either decide to stop with the career and focus solely for, I don't know, a certain amount of years to be a stay-home mom. And then, it takes time to get back and to build back. And no matter how much support you have, you still start from scratch. So in that way, I don't think it's a very supportive environment. It could be a little bit more. But yeah, this would kind of, I would say, in terms of leadership, but in terms of entrepreneurship, I mean, it's a lot. It's very supportive for female. A lot of them networking and helping each other is actually a core of it. So that's also one comparison that I would like to make. I think I see much more of a helpful and willing to help environment here than I saw in Slovenia. Here, whenever you come, people are, how can I help you? That's the first question. And it's not like, how can I help you in terms of I'm going to make money from you and sell you something. No, I mean, if that happens, fine. But they all say it's about networking. It's about helping each other and growing together. And I think it's because it's such a huge country, such a big and competitive environment, that people realize you need to have this micro environment that's working for you. And this is why they're willing to help you in any kind of way.
But in the United States exists like contract that you have to sign not to get pregnant in years to when you
No.
No.
There's no such thing. That would be called discrimination. God forbid. I mean, yeah, no, there is no such thing. But in general, most of the states and companies have contracts with workers that are called at-will contract. I think people from Canada know that.
Yep.
That means you come and go, and they can fire you and hire you whenever they want. So this is what we hear and see, in the movies. You come to the office and they say, hey, from today on, we don't need you anymore. And you pack and go. But this is how it works here. And this is what you agree to and sign when you start working. And as much as it can be terrifying, it also gives a different view. Employers here have problems finding good candidates. So those companies that actually, care about their people, talents, and growing, put a lot of effort into that. So this just firing like this, it's not something, that's fashionable. But it does happen. You saw right now big layoffs of Amazon, and I think Google had it, and Tesla had it, and it's all over the news because they just send an email to 10,000 people. We don't need you right now. I'm sorry, it's tougher times. We need to be more.
Sasha, you just unmute yourself, please, by mistake.
Yeah, but this is the culture here. But those who work in the government or some industries that have syndicates and unions, that's different. Then it's like in Slovenia, if you work for the government, you can't get fired.
At least you know what you're expecting, no?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Better like this than being hanging in between. But of course, you work for a company which is from London, right?
No, they just named it in an English way. But let me tell you this. So actually, the owners are from Pakistan. So they are immigrants from Pakistan. They immigrated here 40 years ago. So the son of the owner is now taking over. He was born here already. but we are known to be one of the most diverse companies. And actually, we really, really love that. The company so far sponsored 27 people. Sponsored means they guarantee and pay for working visa for people who want to come, live, work, and stay in the United States. And it's really hard to find companies that would do that. So we have right now two people from China, two young Chinese girls, credit analysts. But we are from everywhere, from Ukraine, from Russia, from Ethiopia, from Salvador, from Brazil, from India, from Sri Lanka, and a couple of more, but I won't cover all of them. It's just a lot, and it makes this workplace great.
And Sasha, what are your strategies for breaking through the glass ceiling in male-dominated industry? Like, do you have any strategic?
Here is kind of the philosophy here is just go for it. Don't be afraid. Be a woman, stay a woman, but go for it. You know, it's pretty similar like in other environments, but this environment, of course, is more open to women in leadership. It's a democratic country, so there's not so much problem, but still women need to fight more than men. So I saw, it was, I think 2 weeks ago, there was a discussion about this with a new author that used to work on CNBC and wrote a book about it. And it's usually kind of you just need to stand up for yourself and go for it, and don't give up, and don't feel anything, you know, that you are something less because you're a woman, because that's also sometimes a problem. But yeah, I mean, me personally, I think that the frame of the government and the country could be also a little bit different from what I said before, a little bit more supportive for women. But it is what it is, you know, those who fight to get on the top, they get on the top, to the top, sorry.
So just one comment.
Just 1 second. I didn't say it's practice in Canada. I said that probably you in Canada know it because we are neighbors.
Okay, yeah, we know a lot.
No, I know.
That's okay.
Yeah,
I just wanted to be clear.
Working in Canada, you're a little bit nicer to people. Yeah, I'm sorry for misunderstanding. I know you don't have it, but we're close to each other, and we have Canadians here as well. So I thought you are familiar with.
We are.
Yeah.
Okay. Maybe to continue with the topic, cross-culture communication, the importance of effective communication when doing business internationally. What do you have to say?
I think also need to tell you that I live in the heart of the United States, where people are in general, you know, from all over the world and are open to anything international, whereas there are some areas in United States who, you know, when people don't leave their own house or their own state and are not used to, you know, differences, and that's that crash of diversity and races and everything that we sometimes have here. But when it comes to in business and cross-cultural communication here, because there's so many differences between us in terms of culture, race, ethnics, everything, people are super open to that and willing to learn and accept, and not afraid also to ask. You know, I don't know, how does it go? Oh, is something you guys do? And so on. So it's kind of a non-stop learning from each other if you are open to that, of course. And I have to say that here, DC, and I don't know, all these big places, New York and so on, you know, it's melting pot. People are very much open to this. And it actually helps. It sparks conversation. It sparks, you know, learning something new about cultures, and makes it much easier than to work together. I think it's at the end is kind of a how much you're open and how much you're curious and how much you're ready to respect this.
It's in any culture.
It is, yeah. But here you kind of don't have choice because you have so many different cultures in one spot.
In competition, no? So you have to, but in navigating like language barriers, cultural nuances, and building successful business relationship, do you have any tips on that?
For those who would want to work with United States, I would say don't bother that, because I mean, people here, if you think your English is lousy, it's not. They come from everywhere. We have people here that don't even speak English, you know, so they don't mind, you know, if your English is not that good, they mind what you do. They don't mind your accent. It's really not about that. Actually, they admire people who speak other languages. So when they hear, and for me it's natural because I was born in Yugoslavia. I grew up with Croatian TV, you know, going to Croatia coast, you know, traveling to Serbia, Bosnia. I'm familiar with all these languages, and I learned French in high school, and I chose German language, and I didn't consider that as something special. But when they hear like, oh my, for them it's something unimaginable, you know. So I think we shouldn't be afraid of any this language barrier, and they're always willing to help with that.
They love other cultures because it empowers or enriches their culture as well. So it's good.
In general, yes.
Yeah, going to adapting to change. How Slovenian businesswomen have adapted to their businesses to thrive in ever-changing global market?
Those that I know here, I spoke to and myself, I think these are people who are, again, open-minded, because there are a lot of changes you need to accept, get used to. It's a big place, big environment, so it can be intimidating for those who kind of feel comfortable in something smaller. For me, it was just discovering layer by layer. For me, everything I discovered was great, and you learn something new. So it depends on whether you're made for this or not, because in the end, I mean, there are changes, but if you're open, I mean, changes, what can I say about more certain changes? It's much more open communication here, much more open communication, much faster communication, more support. However, more support in, like I said, is networking and building up. However, nobody will do anything, you know, instead of you.
For you, exactly.
Here, compared to Slovenia's system, also works a little bit better. And then I will not talk about women in business. I will talk about business in general, because that also relates to what is your approach. Because what I was kind of disappointed in Slovenia is, you know, whatever you do, if it's corrupted, you know, nothing happened. And there were a lot of anomalies and a lot of irregularities, and I really don't like that, and a lot of unethical things that I saw. And of course, it's everywhere, but the system here works a little bit differently. It's not something you would want to joke about. And people take this really seriously. I see in my industry, because this is one of the most regulated industries since the financial crash, how serious that is, that you respect the rule of law and ethics.
And maybe strategies for building a strong professional network. What are your inputs?
A lot of networking, going out. I mean, here it's it's also part of my job. And I think I built in last couple of years bigger network than my colleagues here who have been in the United States either their entire life or for at least 10, 15 years. But oh my goodness, every platform, every organization has networking events. So, just go and talk, I mean, this is, people approach you, you approach. Nobody's just kind of standing there and I don't know, should I not, everybody comes, shakes your head, hey, I'm this, I'm that, so what do you do, let me see, how can we help each other? I mean, they go straight to the point fast, and they actually go this way. Okay, I'll put you on my list and I will let you know there are any interesting events, so that you can benefit from them too. So it's that network you need to do. And this is something where women also, can not benefit that much because their full-time job is as well being mother. And this is when we come back to that sometimes can be a little bit more difficult, but it's everywhere. It's just everywhere, more or less, around the globe.
And aftermath about networking, how much results you gain after you do go and attend the event, and you gather all the business cards, and then after like a day or two you do a follow-up, and what is actually the result of this networking? Are they very much open? Are they like, they open doors to you, they accept you, they give you opportunity, or they say, yeah, let's postpone because I'm too busy, let's do it later, the next day?
No,
is
no,
it like,
they're very open. People are very open. And if nothing else, we always organize, you do a follow-up. Sometimes it happens that you don't find interest, but more or less you kind of it follows with setting up a video call and just introducing it to each other a little bit more, so that we learn more about business of each other. Because here, the way referrals work is you refer someone that you trust as a person. Everybody's building her referral network. And like I said, because it's such a huge environment, sometimes you don't know, who should I call? I need to buy a real estate. I don't know. I mean, there are like 500 around me. How do I know which one is good? So this is why referral network here really works, because then you call someone, or I met someone and said, hey, now I do need a house, can you help me out with that? So people are building on that, and they will never close the door.
great. You have to be communicative, you have to be talkative person.
Communicative, open. And it's what I also like here is, of course, you always find jerks, but in general, people don't care about your position. Everybody here still wants to be director or a vice president. Don't get me wrong, I was vice president for sales and marketing in a company of 10 people. So I get it. It's kind of gives you a little bit of credibility if you have a good title. But in general, people don't care, I mean, so nobody will look down on you, if you are, I don't know, project assistant talking to a CEO. No, nobody will look down on you. So I like that part too. Everybody's connecting with everyone. I'm now connecting our neighborhood. Our neighborhood is one of the most sought for. We were super lucky. We didn't even know it's that good when we were buying house there. And now I'm connecting because everybody knows everyone. Just, when kids are playing together, when, I don't know, they're renovating something, or when the tree falls down on the road or something. So I said, okay, guys, I mean, we should also start connecting business ways together, Fairfax Station neighborhood. So I started that on Facebook. And they all like it, and I'm gonna, organize the event, and it's nothing big, it's just everybody brings a drink or something. This is how things go here. Every little neighborhood has something, and this is how we build.
Yeah, this is your entrepreneur drive. So you use it also in your spare time.
Yeah.
Time, you take advantage of everything, opportunity, every situation, and then
but people like that. Maybe some people are not, don't take the initiative. Sometimes, there's someone who needs to take the initiative, but people love that. People love it. Sometimes they would come just for curiosity or just to meet. People like that here. It's really interesting compared to Slovenia, and then I will stop. I love it so much, the fact of this openness for connecting. That doesn't mean everybody's everybody's best friend. Don't get me wrong. It just means I'm here to connect with you. And I think this is sometimes mistaken also when I talk to Slovenians, but they all fake this kindness. No, they don't fake kindness. They are genuinely kind and polite because this is what they were taught from beginning. But that doesn't mean, they're going to let you in their house and tell you their personal problems or invite you on their birthday party. It's their differences, so to kind of work as a community, either business, female, women, men, they're all there, but their personal lives, they are their personal lives.
Yeah, they are real now, they're true. So
yeah.
So maybe just to finish here, the global entrepreneurship, the challenges you faced, because so far no challenges at all, but I want to know, where are the challenges?
Challenges. It's
how you overcome the obstacles.
Everything is different, so you learn and learn and learn, and when you think you know something, you figure out you don't know anything. There are 50 states and every state has its regulations. That's one thing. It's so big here that you can't do everything on your own, just like we were used to. You go there and you register company. Okay, that's really easy here too. And then you do this, and then you do that, and then you do your own taxes, and then you do. And here is so much more involvement. Everything costs here. And like I said, you really need to pay attention to regulation here. I mean, like they will hunt you on this. It's a no joke regulation here. Yeah.
They're very disciplined people and follow the.
I don't think they're not disciplined that much. No. But it's if you want to start a business here, and we always talk about that when we get together with our colleague. She lives in Chicago, and she works for a big international law firm. So a lot of companies from Slovenia, we kind of get to her, connect with her, and then they give up because they hear what a huge investment that is. That's, you can't joke, just knowing where you're going to start a company, in which state, and how, and what kind of entity, and what permits do you need, and taxes, and this and that. It costs, because you need an expert for that, because you'll do something wrong for sure. I mean, so yeah, it's $500 for, lawyer, and starting, investing, and doing research for logistics and everything. So it takes more time, and it takes more money to get to run your business, unless you're independent contractor, doing services like this. But if you want to really start a business, it's an investment, and you're stuck with, like I said, lawyers and accountants and this and that. I mean, this is how the economy here goes. Whatever you want to do, you need to hire someone and pay someone, but that means you also get paid, because someone will need you. But it's expensive. It's expensive.
It's an investment in longer term. If people, they have the mentality, the culture, that they have to invest their time, their money, thinking on a longer term.
It's a lot of time. It doesn't happen over the night. And I get it. I mean, I don't have a big company. I get it. It's a risk, because you never know, because you're entering a new market. So we had a case of someone who has an online shop in Slovenia for some products, won't say who and what, and called us, and my colleague Tina, who's very good. She lives in North Carolina. She's very good with logistic and marketing plans and this and that. And they thought, by setting up, Amazon account and this and that and registering, the business will start. Well, no, it won't. It won't, because there are a million other, individuals and entrepreneurs like you, and it's a huge competition. You need to do a lot more to break through. And I also see that, within our company, I also do recruitment. So here, marketing, you have to have a budget. You can't go with some minimal budget and a little bit of social media. No, because you're competing with so many others. So yes, it is investment, and it's always also a risk because you're new here.
And it's a big market. So once you're in and you're successful, you can have all your return back in few years or months.
Yeah, when you get there. Yes. And we have some great stories. Yes.
Thank you so much, Saša, for sharing such a valuable insights. I would love now to invite all the participants if they have any comments or questions while the subject is still fresh, if they want to enter and get involved, please do so.
I just wanted to wish Saša all the best in the US, and I hear that you're very dynamic and very flexible. So I wish you all the best. And if you want a sounding board from the north, then please reach out. We're here for you.
Definitely reach out. I'm setting up my team so that we can start with this club, and I will definitely reach out.
Okay, don't wear yourself out.
Yeah, no, I will not. So becoming a mom and I became mom when I was 40. I'm 44 now. My daughter is 3.5 years old. And becoming a mom is best thing ever, but it stops you a little bit, because, no, you can't, stay at a computer.
Enjoy the moments. They grow up quick.
I know. I love it. I love it.
Saša, thank you so very much for your first-hand experience sharing to us. I would have a question. What would be your advice to women, especially going to the States to making business after your experience?
I would say connect with local, now I consider myself now local, Slovenian women here. Gather some information from them, just kind of talk to them so that you maybe first understand a little bit better before jumping in. Ask them if they can connect you and they can refer you to someone that can help you out with things that you would need. I would do it that way. I would read about just kind of Google it, how it is to enter a US market, just to kind of feel a little bit more familiar before starting and calling any companies to help you out. And with that said, this is where I think it's good to use local community, to use your Slovenians. It's hard to know, which company really is good for you to help you with, I don't know, marketing or to help you with logistics. Even, I don't know, if you would ask me, I want to open company in Delaware, okay, I mean, Delaware is too far from me. I have zero clue about Delaware, but let me call this person. So I would really go that way. If you are interested, I would actually connect you to Tina Slabe from North Carolina. She worked for Coca-Cola, she worked for L'Oreal, she helped, I think so far, like 4 or 5 companies from Slovenia. She's also working now for a startup. So she's one of those people who can, kind of do also calculations and tell you about logistics and so on. And like I said, when you get to the point that you are ready, be ready that you will need some experts and invest a little bit of money into experts. Better to have lawyer and pay him $5,000 at the beginning, because it's going to be your investment forever.
Thank you very much.
Very good, Saša.
Happy to connect you with anyone if you need.
So Daria also raised her hand from Canada. Please.
Yes, that was wonderful, Sasha. I really love how you presented. And I live in Canada, Vancouver. I am an entrepreneur, pattern maker by profession, and then I own a brand. And the brand of ski suits. And I'm trying to put forward in the marketing. So the question for me is, what is the best strategies you would do? Like, as you said, mention about the online brand, you need to do a lot of more. What is the best marketing strategies you would apply for the like brand owners who are trying to compete and making something new, innovative for the to actually gain sales? What would you do?
So if you talk about the digital marketing mostly,
Yeah, just to imagine you have a product and then you wanted to sell it. You want to go like all over the world. You actually want to reach ski centers, for example. So what would you do?
So I will give you an example of this company. So mortgage companies, a bunch of them here, because it's a very good and lucrative business once you are in. So there is a big competition. But the way you can kind of start reaching out and growing is starting locally, because even with the digital marketing, it becomes cheaper when you focus on a local thing, you know? So because if you want to do, I don't know, USA or the entire state, you are competing against a lot of them. So we started very locally and came up in Google search high and got much more leads. So I am not sure about, you know, your industry and so on, but I would try to connect with someone and start maybe locally. I don't know, I would even need to learn more about business, but you know, the big ones such as Walmart and others are now competing against each other, and they're putting together, and they have platforms for small businesses, trying to be unique and bring them on board. But of course, it's not that easy, and they take a lot. So I can't give you an overall strategy, and it depends also on the budget and, you know, target audience, but I would start probably locally, you know, kind of choose 2-3 points that are populated, that are popular, that audience you are targeting is there or comes there. This is how I would probably start.
Yeah, I did try, and it's kind of because it's a very niche oriented. So I am planning to even do Europe and Slovenia, so that because
Niche is good.
Yeah, it's because
Yeah.
Italy, because the kind of environment and like onesies getting popular more in
Yeah.
Europe. So thank you.
Yeah, I would also suggest, I'm sorry, I'm just gonna say here, you know, trade shows are very popular and taken seriously. I don't know how it is there, but here are taken seriously, and people take advantage of every possible one. They can attend or participate or be a vendor. It really is an opportunity. Even when I talk to the embassy, they always say, you know, companies should explore, you know, which are trade shows that are for their industry. And before going there, make your research who will be there and connect upfront, because there will be hundreds of others there too, you know, targeting at the same person. So you need to be prepared upfront. And what's good is when you get there, you get also lists and trends, and you learn much more. So that's also one thing they always start. But again, it's probably a little bit of investment, you know, get a ticket, you know, a flight and a hotel, everything costs here, but you know it yourself. Yeah. Money here flies like this.
Yeah, very good strategies. Daria, also, we live in a digital world. So who is in front of this digital world are influencers. So in this case, I think if I follow all this media, you get the main influencers, local influencer from Whistler or from Aspen or from Italy or Courchevel or like main places, and you just hire influencer. You have to pay the influencer. She takes photos, she takes videos, and she shares among. And this is like word that spreads very fast on the.
Daria, for US, I am happy to connect and organize a call with me and with the Tina that I mentioned, because she's much better kind of in terms of initiating things that I am, and, you know, going to some other parts of business. More than happy, you know, to also have discussion with her, and, you know, from this business-wise, economical, that administrative point that is sometimes very time consuming, and you don't know how to approach it. So more than happy to connect.
Thank you. Yeah.
Sasha, send your contacts in chat box so can Daria connect you after the meeting.
I will give you my work email because I have it with me all the time. And this is my whoever needs me, my cell phone. If I am very eager always to connect and everything sometimes, but it takes time sometimes for me to answer if I am overwhelmed with things. So my apologies in advance. I don't expect from anyone to be instantly, you know, available for me. I think there's more live than on mobile phone. So just to kind of let you know, I always get back. Sometimes it takes me a little bit more because I do respect my time with my daughter in the evening, and in the morning I'm shoot me person, you know. So just this couple of things.
Thank you, Sasha, for being here and accepting this invitation. And I'm wishing you succeed in all your endeavors. Our next guest, if anyone has any comments or questions or like to connect with Sasha, please be free and send it in chat box or on her contacts. Our next guest comes actually from Dubai. She's currently attending some events which she was invited in Ljubljana, but she is also living in Dubai. So Julija Gruden, civil engineer, hailing from Slovenia, boasts nearly a decade of invaluable work experience in the UAE. Her roles have spanned from construction manager, work experience to project manager, overseeing notable projects including the Dubai Island, Wasl Tower, VIP bridges, and Sharjah airport parking, right? So, Julija,
correct.
Please share with us your journey and experiences, and the floor is yours.
Hey, hello everybody. Thanks for having me here. Nice to meet everybody. So yeah, first I'll start with how I ended up working in Dubai. So I studied here in Ljubljana. So I was studying civil engineering. And I was the last person I thought would ever live abroad. But when I was finishing my studies, there were not a lot of construction projects going on in Slovenia at that time. So I was looking at these documentaries about building the highest tower in the world in Dubai, the biggest shopping center, and mega projects, the Palm Islands. So I was very fascinated. And one colleague of mine, she told me that there are possibilities also to apply for internships through students' organization, internships abroad to get some experience, because I didn't get a chance to study abroad for a year, which would also sound nice. But so I thought, okay, this is my chance. So when I finish studies, I can try working somewhere else, and also to get a chance to work on some bigger projects. So I applied with this student organization, CIESTE in Ljubljana, that was exchanging internships all over the world. So I told them that I'm interested in a couple of countries, and they helped me get internship in UAE. I was actually waiting almost 2 years to get it. At that time, it wasn't very easy to get like some specific countries, and UAE wasn't offering a lot of internships. But I was still studying, so I wasn't that much in a hurry, and the timing was perfect. So the same summer when I finished my degree, I got 1 month internship in Dubai. But that was like way before the Zoom calls were popular at all. That was 10 years ago. So I just got one piece of paper, A4 paper printed, that just showed very basic information. But I thought since it's 1 month, I can survive anything. So I went there, but I was really, really pleasantly surprised. So my first day in office, because they told me, okay, tomorrow you're starting to work on Dubai Islands. At that time, before they were actually called Palm Deira, it was supposed to be the 3rd Palm Island, but then it's changed. But they told me, okay, tomorrow you're starting there, you will be working on infrastructure. So I couldn't believe it, because this actually exactly kind of project that I was just looking on TV before. So I got the chance to work there from day one. And because I liked the project, I immediately started working really hard. I really wanted to learn in this 1 month everything that I could. So after 1 month, they actually offered me a contract to stay with the company. So because I really liked the project, I accepted it. And then I was really lucky, like she mentioned, I had a chance to work on a lot of iconic projects in Dubai. After 2 years with this company in infrastructure, I wanted to also work with high-rise buildings. So I moved to a company that was working on towers. So my next project was the management of construction of 4 towers in the center of Dubai. That was also kind of challenging project because of the space limitations and because it was in the center. It was a pretty big project. And then I also worked on a couple of other projects, including the embassy of Slovenia in Abu Dhabi when they were opening it a bit more than 5 years ago. But then like the biggest thing that happened to me since I moved to UAE was around 5 years ago now, when they called me if I would like to come and work for Expo 2020. This was the biggest project that was happening in the Emirates at that time. So I couldn't believe they actually called me for the interview. Like I was happy just to even participate at the interview because I got the chance to visit their offices, see how they're working, how they're planning this massive event. So actually, I think I went through 7 rounds of interviews to get this job. It took a couple of months. So it was a lot of different types of interviews with a lot of different managers from the project. So I couldn't believe when I actually got the role. So I was working there for 2 years. I was supervising construction of a lot of pavilions in the expo. So that was really one of the best experiences I could possibly get as civil engineer in Dubai. Now I work in a Slovenian company, so that's a bit different. I was really, really happy actually to meet Slovenian company. That was during Expo actually. So it's really, really different experience because now for the first time I work like with European company. I have European team. So it's really nice. Our head office is actually in Slovenia. So this is how I'm a bit more connected to Slovenia now. It's in Knauf, Škofja Loka. So it's really nice to be working in kind of Slovenian company now, but I'm still based in Dubai and I look after projects in the full Middle East. So I travel a lot because now I'm much more specialized. I don't look after the whole construction of the buildings, but just green roofs and green walls, very specialized. But because I look after whole region, it's also very interesting, like traveling to different countries, getting projects there and supervising them. So this is what I do now.
Yeah, this is a great difference now because Saša moved to United States. It's the country where it's more obvious and it's much easier to adapt. but you went way too far to the completely extreme
It is
side
very
of
different.
the world, né? So, but just one question before we start. The company that called you for interviews was the Slovenian company or was the Emirate company, the building company of Expo Dubai that interview you?
That was actually Expo 2020 directly. They were the organizer of the event. So that was actually local company that was set up just for this event. So they were supervising the construction of everything, and they were looking after organization of the whole event. But for the to simplify this a little bit, they didn't hire people directly, but they hired one company. It was actually Jacob's company. So they hired them to supervise the project. So we were working under Jacob's visa, but we were actually selected for Expo project. So actually we were working for staff, but for visas we were working under Jacob's company.
But the event actually didn't held a place on that year, right? Because due to COVID, so it was postponed. It was supposed to be 2020, was postponed. So you already started on the how it happened, because you already started the project, you were paid up front, or how was the situation? Because then the event didn't happen.
Yeah, that was very, very challenging time. So I started 1 year before Expo was supposed to open the doors for public. So when we started, there was like huge amount of pressure to actually finish everything on the date. Usually there are a lot of delays on the projects in UAE, but here we had no flexibility because 1st of October was supposed to be first day when the public from all over the world would travel to Dubai, visit the expo and all the pavilions. So we didn't have this flexibility. But then in March, so it's like 6 months before we were supposed to open, the pandemic started. So it started first we started having issues with deliveries from China because a lot of construction material was supposed to come from there. But like first, all of that stopped. So first we started by solving deliveries, but it was a huge issue because a lot of material was already approved and ordered from there. So it was a lot of work to find the replacements where they could actually deliver so fast, which would be challenging because it was just 6 months and we would have to get material approved, delivered, installed. But then quickly in few months, we saw that this will be more affected than just some deliveries. It was spreading to the other countries. And then we had a lot of restrictions a couple of months later. So we had to change how we work, but we still didn't get the approval for the postponement. So we were still planning to open on the date. So we had to do everything we could to still open on the same date. So that was one of the biggest events of the year. I think first one was the Olympics and then this one. So soon after they announced that Olympics will be postponed, they also announced that Expo will be postponed for 1 year. So then we had to revise the plans. So it was again a lot of changes. So most of the teams, they would reduce the teams because it was 1 extra year. So it was no longer required to do it so quickly. So everybody did a new plan, revised the size of the team, get some of the new materials, and everybody had to adapt in each project.
So you were thrown into challenges right
so
from the
that
beginning.
was it. We started 1 year later.
Julia,
huge events like this can be managed. Yeah,
Julia, I'm gonna just ask you to switch off the camera because you have a little delay so that we can continue. We can hear you good, but I think just maybe we try a little bit, a few moments, no camera, and then we can go back. Okay, So, like I said, you ended up in completely male-dominated industry, not just industry, but also country, no? So what was your experience on that? Were you very well welcomed? You had many challenges as a woman in kind of leadership, in construction, very male-dominated industry. How was your experience on the beginning when you had the contact with local people and also from the company on the set?
So maybe the only time I would even notice that was in the first company, because that company was not based in Dubai, it was based in Sharjah, and they were mainly male company. I think I was maybe first civil engineer in the company. Maybe there were a few people in the head office, few ladies in the head office, but I was first one on the site. So people were kind of shocked maybe a little bit when they saw me on the site first. So you could see the surprise when they saw me on the site, but not because they wouldn't want it, but usually they were probably more under impression that women don't want to work in conditions like that, because conditions on sites were pretty hard. Mainly because of the weather also. I started at the end of the summer, so temperatures are really high. It will be around 50 degrees for 1 or 2 months in the summer. So they were more surprised, and also it takes some time, but I don't think it's because I was woman on site, but because I was new. So you need everybody to see first that you are working hard, that you will be there no matter what, that you will be solving problems, that you can help the team solving technical issues, any issues that appear on the site, which is happening all the time. They need to see that you will be working with them in any weather conditions, day shift, night shift, and then you become part of them and you don't even notice anymore that you are a woman in this kind of environment.
So you started in a very like material oriented company. So were you like also managing supply chains, logistics? Do you have like these complexities of managing supplies? And you said yourself that you had issues with China, but how was this instability, or China we know, but like locally when you work there, how are these the challenges? Because we know that working with supply chains and logistics, this can be pretty much, I know, I can imagine you have a big team behind you, but still, were you like ended up in this challenge that they were pressure you to resolve situations? Were you ever like ended up being in some complex situations?
Yeah, of course. Even on the first projects, for example, first issue that usually you face on the construction site is, for example, delivery of the concrete, because it's very hard to get it on time, to have all the material delivered at the same time when the site is ready, to have all the trucks coming one by one on the site as planned. So yeah, of course, like 1 or 2 times you try, you order it, but then you see that you have to really personally get involved and you have to go to the plant to be with them when they're preparing it, really make a detailed schedule, for example. So that was really hard to achieve. There were a lot of phone calls, a lot of visits. And also, if there were any issues with supplier, even on the site when I was working on as site engineer, you would have to deal directly with the suppliers. But then, for example, when I was working in Expo, each building would have their own team. So each country had to appoint general contractor. They were usually from that country, and then local contractor from UAE. And consultant. So this is the team that would have to manage. We were just supervising that everything is done, that they did everything that they had to, and we just had to follow up to make sure that they were dealing with issues with each item that had to be delivered to achieve the completion on time. But it happened a lot actually that they were facing problems, and then we had to get involved from Expo site so that the suppliers from other countries would actually see how serious the issue is. So we were actually doing a lot of calls, even we were visiting the factories with them to make sure that it was delivered and resolved.
Okay, if we go to global entrepreneurship, what are the experience when establishing businesses in different countries and cultures comparing with Slovenia?
Yeah, it is different. Even now, like I've been there for 10 years, but I will still face surprises. Like for example, last month I was doing a project in Saudi Arabia. And I even traveled to Saudi Arabia many times before. I've been going there for 2 years. But usually I was going to Riyadh, which is the capital, or to the East Coast. But now for the first time, we had project on the West Coast, which turned out to be next to a village in very undeveloped area. So there were like completely new challenges. So even after 10 years, I couldn't be prepared for them. So for example, they already had the new airport opening at that site just for that project. So it was possible to fly there. But then there was a challenge that there was no even taxi available from the airport to the site because they just opened the airport. So that was not done yet. And there is no Uber, there are no taxi drivers, nobody can take you there. Nobody can take you from hotel to the site every day. Of course, we were doing the installation. We needed some material, for example, if we had to change something. And the closest store was 600 kilometers away. So you will always find challenges, but you need to just find ways to resolve them and be flexible.
And we hope you have a very big support there as well, no? And you also have to be we have to have the great and big personality to overcome these challenges in this country. Where you live more in an international area in Dubai, so the communication is much easier. You don't have to speak Arabic. How is this life environment where what is your daily schedule? And just tell us a little bit more, how is life in Dubai for you?
You mean the work part or also in the free time?
No.
So now, because now I work from getting projects to the execution of the project, so it will be very, very different every day. So now I'm basically in business development, the project design and project execution. So it will be very different. Like a lot of time will be spent, for example, with designers, with architects, showing them how to incorporate our solutions into their designs, helping them with the design, then also getting the projects, which of course includes a lot of networking, like Sasha was mentioning, that's really important. Then I'm also doing technical things. I'm writing specifications, solving problems, making different design for different projects. And then also when we get the order for the projects, I arrange the material, the team that will be installing it, I train them how to install it, and I usually supervise the construction part. So it is very, very different, which is something that I like, because I would be, for example, too bored to be just sitting in the office every day. But this way I can have really different experiences every day and work with a lot of different types of people.
Do you have any Slovenian communities around you?
Yeah, there are now quite a lot of Slovenian people living in Dubai. Now that we also have embassy, we are also a bit more connected. There are a few events every year where everybody is invited. There are a couple of hundreds of Slovenians there now, but also for me, I have a couple of friends from Slovenia that we meet more often, yeah.
So if a Slovenian businesswoman wants to move to Dubai and expand her business, what are your thoughts on that, and maybe some advices how she can go and enter this big company in this big country? Sorry.
Yeah, well, I was thinking when Sasha was explaining about this that it's very similar here. So start would be the same, approach some Slovenian people that already live here, get some advice, and yes, you have to spend some on the advisors and the lawyers to set everything up. But then you will also see that it's a bit different to approach people here. So when you actually already have business running, maybe there is a small difference that they want a bit more personal approach, so that you, because like Saša mentioned, in US they get straight to the point. When you meet somebody, they immediately talk about business, but here it takes a bit more time, so that you actually build a relationship with somebody and build the trust, and then you start talking also about business.
And they also appreciate different cultures. They warmly welcome people from other countries, or they're very close and very strict and reserved people.
Yeah, here in Dubai, only between 10 and 15% of people are actually locals. So almost 90% of people are expats. So you actually deal mainly with them. Locals are very usually on very high positions or working in government. So you just work with them if you have projects, for example, with municipality. Otherwise, you work with expats. So everybody is in the same position as you. So you don't feel any different. You don't even feel that like you are like, you know, in another country or something different than others.
And in this country, is it easy to upgrade your position, or as an expat, you don't have so many opportunities to grow inside the company, the local company?
You actually think that you have more possibilities, and also companies, they also want to keep good employees, and they know that if they don't, they will find opportunities outside, because there are a lot of jobs. So they actually always find a way to keep employees happy and getting them promoted in the company, so that they don't leave them after 1 or 2 years. Because if that doesn't happen, usually employees will be searching for a job very soon, because people just expect to be either promoted or get a raise, for example, at least every 1 year. So it is moving a bit faster than I would say in Slovenia. Yeah.
Do you have any plans for many years? How long you're gonna stay there?
No, I never make a plan, because if I would know 10 years ago that I'm going there for 10 years, I probably wouldn't go, because it would sound too scary and too long. So I'm actually happy that I was planning to go for a short time. It was much easier to decide to go. And then I always say to myself that as long as I'm happy there, have a good job and enjoy it, I'm extending a little bit every time.
And what are the big projects in the future?
So now we are working more and more with Kuwait, Qatar. So we are expanding in the Middle East. So it's getting very interesting, even with the same company.
Are you facing any challenges due to war happening nearby?
Just I think with the logistics, it was taking a little bit more time for the material to reach from Slovenia to Dubai, because the ships were rerouted to a different course. So it took them some more time. So for example, also transport became more expensive, and that's why also material became a bit more expensive. Otherwise, we don't have any direct issues with this now.
Okay, so as long as you're safe and sound. Thank you so much for sharing your insights. So Julija, your expertise has truly enriched our discussion today with your experience. Does anyone has any comments or questions they'd like to address to Julija?
Actually, you know what, I was just curious about what materials are being brought from Slovenia to your projects. You said
Julija, you can open your camera now. Just
let's try.
Yeah, let's try.
Okay, let's see if it will be working. Otherwise, stop me and I will turn it off. Yeah, so for those projects where I work now, we are bringing material that is kind of growing media, and it is enhancing soil, because like I mentioned, I'm working now with green roofs and green walls, which actually means we are putting natural plants on the envelopes of the buildings. And because this would be usually very heavy solution, we are using rock mineral wool as growing media, and this is produced in Škofja Loka in Slovenia. This material was actually invented and developed in Slovenia, And it was used, I think, for around 10 years more in Europe, but now it is also used in Dubai. And it actually has even more benefits in that region because of the weather, because material retains water. So because there is not much water in UAE, this is even more beneficial there because it actually saves 50 to 70% of water used for irrigation. So it is a very good solution for the climate in the Middle East.
Julia,
Oh.
do you know which, I'm sorry, I jumped in and then I'll let, do you know which company from Škofja Loka?
Knauf.
Which company from Škofja?
Insulation. That's Knauf insulation.
Knauf.
Oh,
Knauf.
it is Knauf. Yeah, because
Mhm.
I was wondering because in 2019, when I was still in Slovenia, we actually went to Knauf and they were showing us this solution. That's
Really? So
great.
you've seen it.
That's great.
It's
Yeah.
a really small world, really.
It is small world. It is. This is why I wanted to ask. Sorry, Sonia. Sorry. I'll be quiet now.
No, no, I'm just fascinated with this because I've been on so many conferences now, and we just did a clean tech and circular economy event, I guess, last month. So I'm working with a company in actually Murska Sobota, which is very much into the the water. Water refiltration, etc. But anyway, so I just wondered, so the pavilion that you had at Expo, the Slovenia pavilion, is that where you debuted some of these materials? Because I remember I was not there, but I just saw the pictures and I just
Yeah,
wondered.
if you've seen the building was kind of oval building, all wrapped in the greenery. So this was actually our green wall. Yes, that was the system delivered from Škofja Loka, and it was done by Knauf Insulation. This is actually where I connected with Knauf because they were coming to Expo to do the installation, and they were the only Slovenian people coming there during the construction. So of course, like everybody connected us because everybody was telling them that there is one Slovenian person working for Expo. So this is where we met, and then we connected, and I started working with them. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, it's just that's what all of these like Sasha mentioned, and of course Julia is also saying, like, is the connections and the networking that we all do. And anyway, I'll back off. Thank you, Matea, for organizing this. I'll go away.
Don't go away. Stay there. Stay among us. Daria, please.
I have another question for Julia. I already connected with you on LinkedIn, and I see beautiful photos.
Nice.
So are you self-employed, or you work for the company? How is it?
I work for the company, but I'm the only person there at the moment looking after that region. So a lot of people actually, even after they work with me for some time, they are under impression that it's my company because I cover everything. So it's actually kind of working for myself because I'm responsible for everything. But yes, I work for the company. Yeah.
That's great. Yeah, I've been as a prototype developer, I was looking to create some clothing for the construction people. So it's something I'm looking for it. So
The prototype, Daria, over to Julia. Maybe
prototyping activity. Woman in construction, right? No, that's what I wanted to ask. So how do you see yourself creating these businesses? So you bring your businesses from Škofja Loka. That's you created yourself, right? To bring to imports from Škofja Loka. It wouldn't happen if you wouldn't be there. Am I correct?
Yeah, exactly. So before they just did few projects in UAE when they got the requests to directly to head office. But then when they got this Expo project, they were thinking, yeah, maybe it would be nice also to have somebody representing for this region to be there full time. Because it's easier to go to meetings, it's much easier to connect in person. So when they met me, they just came for that expo project that was done before I joined. And they saw that like I have already a big network because I was working with a lot of construction companies, consulting companies. I knew a lot of the new projects that were happening in Dubai. So they mentioned, okay, you might be the good person and you can also handle the technical part because you are more in technical field before. So this is why we started. Yeah, but they produce material there, then we arrange the transportation, and then I take it from there.
Thank you.
You should negotiate at a stock market. Get some stocks from the company.
It's actually a family-owned company.
Okay. Yeah, you told me. Okay. If anyone else wants to ask or add anything, please do that. But I'm just gonna say a quick goodbye note here. So to our esteemed speakers, thank you for your graciously sharing your time, expertise, and insights with us. Your contribution are invaluable, and we're deeply grateful for the opportunity to learn from your experiences. Thank you to all the participants, and we look forward to welcome you also to our next Slovenian Businesswomen Around the World webinar. Please stay tuned. If you still want to chat, we're gonna finish here. We can like end the event formally, and we can just stay in and connect and chat informally. So goodbye.
I would like to say thank you, for taking the time and to listening to my experiences. And like I said, happy to connect. And Matea, thank you for organizing this. Looking forward to the next one. This is really invigorating, kind of so many different. And Marcelo, thank you for representing the male population here.
He was not the only male. There were two more.
Oh, really? I didn't see others.
Yeah, Benjamin and another one. Yeah.
Okay. Alrighty. I will have to go because I have a meeting at 1:30. Again, thank you so much for taking the time, to listen to my story as well. Good luck to all of you.
The important part of this is to connect. So
yes,
if we can be in this help to connect, this is the channel. So this is opportunity. This is a platform when everybody hear the stories and connect. And this is our goal.
Thank you.
Best of luck to both of you and to all coming here.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.